I actually thought I'm a pretty loving guy.
Yeah.
So I wrote a whole list of things, and I come at the end.
If you just watch that mic, Bruce, so I can hear.
I come at the end is I actually withhold love to protect myself.
Yep.
So I don't give my love.
Yeah. And you say to protect yourself. So what's that about? What are you protecting? Have you given that much thought?
Well, obviously an emotional state that I don't want to face. I don't want to trigger something that, so, you know, I guess protecting my injured self.
Yep.
And I don't want to expose myself.
How does withholding love from another protect yourself? Have you given that much thought?
Again, it may be just in the mind, but it's a thing that I feel that I don't. If I withhold, I have control.
Right. Yeah, I feel you need to do a lot of more thought on it, Bruce, to be honest, because the reality is that when you withhold love from another person to protect yourself, you've got to examine a lot more deeply what it is that you're trying to protect, right? And a lot of it's about exposure, like being exposed, and then somebody then trying to threaten the exposed part of you. In other words, trying to harm you through that exposure.
Abuse you or
use you or abuse you emotionally, sexually or physically or otherwise, or even like financially and otherwise.
Yep.
Yep. And so we need to allow ourselves to go probably even deeper than that. The key in this process is that many of you have learned to give yourself only short bits of time to examine your feelings. And what I'm suggesting to you is you're going to have to give yourself a lot longer periods of time to examine your feelings, right? Because your feelings are quite complex. There's a lot of complicated things that have happened in your childhood, and your feelings are very complicated. And the only way you're going to work through the maze is by feeling each one of them, and that requires giving yourself time to do so. And that's where you're frequently giving your time elsewhere, and therefore not taking the time for yourself to feel things. And so you're not going to be able to deeply answer some of these questions until the time is taken. Yeah.
Yeah, look, and that I have struggled in the last couple of days just with giving myself, allowing that I've got the time.
Yes.
To actually sit still and do it. And I've actually, my mind's been racing
away. Yeah. How many of you have a problem with giving yourself time? You want to be busy all the time, doing things all the time. Yeah, it's a big problem, right? It's a major problem. It's not creating a soul space to actually feel the true emotional position, right? So one of the things that you can do using your will is to change your life to a degree so that you're not busy doing things all the time. So you have what I'd classify as meditation time, but not in the concept of a New Age concept. Just like what I do oftentimes is I'll lay on my bed and just pray and feel my feelings, and I'll often do that from anywhere from 2 to 4 hours straight. Do you follow? We just lay there, just trying to feel what's in my body, what my pains are, all of those kind of things. And I find that if I do that every day, I easily find my true state in that process. But if I am busy every day, and we've had periods of time where we've been very, very busy, then it's very, very difficult to do that. Another thing that helps me is by reading material constantly, even if it's the same material over and over again, reading material constantly that helps me do that. Right? So that's why the Robert James Lee's books are so good, because they do help you get into that state and maintain that state. That's why reading the Paget messages are good. Same reason. They help you get in the state and maintain that state of connection. And that's why it's good to do those particular things. Yep. So if we go to Neil.